With the closing of puppy mills, high rents, and unwelcome pets, there has been a surge in animals winding up in shelters. Jennifer Miranda is the Chief Animal Control Officer for Bridgeport Animal Control.
It isn't unfair to say that animal sheltering and the animal control situation in Connecticut is entering a crisis mode. The volume and intake of animals that are entering this arena of needing to be rehomed, whether it's people posting on Facebook that they need to get rid of their animal because of A, B, and C, whether it's animals that are dumped on the street, animals abandoned in increasingly creative and often cruel fashions, or when we're looking at the cruelty cases that are flowing into our dockets, and we're looking at those in court, and we're seeing just an increase in the intensity of what is going on. A big one lately that is contributing to this high volume is animals being left behind in apartments, maybe after evictions or just simply having to move out. So the housing crisis and lack of affordable pet-friendly housing is certainly having its effects on the animals coming into the shelter. So there's a lot of different ways for them to end up impounded at an animal shelter in Connecticut. So our biggest community outreach is going to be our Facebook page. We have our photo album of animals currently available for adoption, and that has every animal, their profile. You know, we also run dog, cat, pet of the day, depending on what's available, and those are every day. We'll also do live videos for dogs that are available for adoption, cats that are available for adoption, and the occasional turtle, bunny, ferret, anything else, because unfortunately all animals are on the board and you know, able to be abandoned. Written application, it gives a little background on who you are as a pet owner. If you haven't had a pet before, that does not exclude you from adoption. It may direct us to certain animals that might be a better fit, but it doesn't bar you from adopting altogether, because we want you to adopt for your first pet. Along with our written application, we require proof of home ownership. That could be a mortgage statement, tax bill, something to that effect, or if you rent, a notarized letter from your landlord stating that you can have a pet on the property. A big thing with animals coming into our shelter is that they weren't allowed to be where they were living. So when we're adopting those animals out, we're aiming to prevent that very same situation from happening again.
Sue is a Fairfield resident who has made it her mission to promote and help with adoption. She also uses her brand Blue Ribbon Animal Rescue to help.
Everybody thinks of rescue as coming from southern states, and that's what I always did too, because I always felt like that's where the need was. And then I learned over the past 6 months that we have a huge issue right here in Connecticut. It just takes one person to start talking to people about what's happening. And I've been talking to Jen and realizing that these animals are just not getting enough exposure. So let's do something about it. And what I want the Fairfield community to understand is next time it's time to bring in a new baby into your home, an animal, think of Bridgeport first. Go to the Facebook page and take a look. They have beautiful animals there, and they're just as wonderful and loving and deserving as an animal that comes from the South, if not more. That's my goal, is to use social media and to talk to people in the community and have adoption events and work with these wonderful, dedicated professionals at the shelter in Bridgeport to get the word out, to have some volunteer events where we go to the shelter and do whatever they need help with. Every life that I can save makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference to them. So I'm going to try to save as many lives as possible.